particular device given to us by Russia, and we are using it. So any crashed aeroplane, especially MiG or a Su, they used to go through each debris to find out if we have any equipment. When they didn't find, they would grill the pilots to the even point of even torture. And they were said, you tell us what you have. When they said, look, it was our personal skill that we have developed, none of them believed this.
Okay,
And
that is
as
the
a luck would
greatness
have
of
it,
our
yeah.
pilots.
And as a luck would have it, Chuck Yeager's aeroplane was parked, I think, in Sargodha, and one of our raids got it. So he was very cut up with the Indian Air Force. He said, why the hell did you destroy my aeroplane?
Okay, I think
Okay.
same, such a perfection our pilots with which they executed their task, including the one in Dhaka where governor and all people were meeting at one place. We had some of
Yes,
our
yes.
warriors speaking. So,
Yeah.
but by that, they got so scared. I think he resigned the very next day from his post.
Yeah,
Such is the power of our people. Yes.
That's good. I'll tell you something about that attack.
Sir.
This was Air Commodore AJ Singh's elder brother, Air Commodore Manbir Singh.
Sir.
Now, this is the family of two pilots, fighter pilots, both being awarded BRC, Veer
Sir.
Chakra.
Sir.
Now, Dhaka Continental was a place where this meeting was taking place between the governor of Dhaka and his all high officials.
Yes,
So
sir.
this formation was told, just launch your rockets, salvo, in a second level flight, aiming at this
Bungalow.
hotel. Okay.
Yes.
So now they were carrying, 57 millimeter, what is called hollow charge rocket.
Okay.
This is a rocket that can penetrate 8 to 10 inches of armor.
Okay.
Now, when these rockets were fired, I was given to understand that one rocket went through and through two walls
Oh,
when these
yes.
people were sitting.
Yes.
But that was the last straw.
Yes,
You
sir.
can imagine you are sitting in a conference room and suddenly a rocket passes through, making a huge noise.
Yeah, that
And
too
that's
when
the
they
whole of
considered the
all.
most secret place.
Yeah, that's correct. So that was the last straw, which finally they said, all right, it's time to give up and surrender.
So such is the accuracy of our pilots in discharging their duties.
Yeah, correct.
So I salute to all pilots for those heroes also. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Now, yeah, Balinga sir, you are raising your hands.
No, Baliga, his mute has gone. Again, he's muted himself.
Yeah, please speak, sir.
I'm ex-sergeant Vishwanath Balinge from Navi Mumbai. Joined Air Force in 1961 to 79, and then corporate sector Bharat Petroleum from 79 to 2004, sir. Sir, it's really pleasure to listen. Your multitask, which you have handled in 1971 war so effectively and efficiently, which had given excellent result during 1971 war. I think that your mission of 23 sorties is, I think, the really the greatest one, and lot of learning from this. And we wish you all the best in your journey ahead. Thank you.
Thanks a lot for your concern. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Balinga sir. So, yeah, anybody can unmute and ask, sir. Yeah,
Yes.
Murukar sir, yes.
Balinge Sahib, thank you. Our wing commander साहब ने बहुत अच्छा ये किया है. He has given a vivid picture, thrilling experience of 1971 war. I think I was also one of the party to it in Agra, Canberra Air Staff.
Okay.
So thank you very much, sir, and we will look upon you as a great warrior of 1971 war.
Yeah, we always feel proud of his
Jai.
service to the nation. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Murukar sir, Vice Chancellor from Mumbai. Yes, sir. Anybody?
So this is Manjunath from Bengaluru.
Yeah, Mr. Manjunath. Yes.
First of all, kudos to Wing Commander. It gave a real war experience today, in full of action, very thrilling. There are a lot of takeaways from these wars which we have experienced, and you are all there, real war heroes. Is your experience being made use of by the Indian Air Force even today, by giving you an opportunity to visit the training centers, speak to the young trainees, or to the officers who are doing mid-course of something like that? Are we using this treasure which is available with us.
I'll tell you one thing, doctor. See, it's like this. After each operation, each service, there is what is called Gupta Chini. That means at the end of the day, all the commanders sit together and try to find out what went wrong, what went right, where we were successful, and how the operation was conducted, what are our limitations. Do we need to increase our capacity, or are we happy with it? Now, the threadbare analysis is done of all these things. So these things are recorded. The lessons from this are always implemented.
It's a
No
debriefing
lesson,
kind of.
no lesson ever goes waste. I'll tell you a simple thing. In 65, our Air Force was half conquered. There was a lot of damage to our aeroplanes on ground. But in 71, we had taken the account of all this, and in spite of number of attacks by Pakistani Air Force on our airfields as deep as Agra, there was hardly any damage, real damage to our aeroplanes on ground. Okay, this was also contributed by the lightning campaign of Israel. What happened on 1st June 1967 till 6th June 1967, and the lessons had gone home, and we were all ready. Pakistan Air Force tried their best, but the aeroplanes were camouflaged, they were kept in blast pens, and to the best of my knowledge, there was no loss on ground at all. Okay.
Sir, my question was slightly different. All those are recorded, it is there, and debriefing, everything takes place. What I wanted to ask, your presence, your experience, to be shared with the young pilots
Yes.
who are under training.
Okay.
Are you
Doctor-
getting? Are we getting an opportunity? Are you getting an opportunity to speak to them? You know, it's sort of moral booster for them,
Yeah.
and to learn a lot of things from you one to one.
Okay, we have these things for, we have a international study and analysis institute in Delhi. See, all this happens through various institutes. Although I may not be called, there are a number of people who join informal symposiums or meeting of conferences, and they are definitely made use of. Maybe I'm not being, since I joined civil aviation, but what you said here, yes, a part of this experience is always given back.
Okay, sir. Now we have our distinguished guest always, Brigadier Apte, sir. So you may also add value. I mean, you add a lot of value to our discussions. So now you may ask, sir.
Audible,
Yes, sir. Audible. Yes.
okay. Firstly, my kudos to my very dear friend Vikas Patsave for an excellent talk which he gave describing and actually he converted his dialogue into a documentary film. That I think is great credit to him. I've known Vikas for a very, very long time. Not only that, his father and my father fought in the Second World War together. And I think I do see his youngest brother Sandeep, who's in the US, but I don't think we met for nearly 50 years now. So my compliments always have been there to the Indian Air Force. Let me tell you, they are one of the finest air forces in the world, and I am witness to that. And no air force can have its airworthiness unless people like you, Mr. Rao, Mr. Pathak, and so many other ground engineers and flight engineers can ensure that our fighter pilots, transport pilots can be airborne successfully. So I think, as they say, it's the man behind the machine. We've heard Wing Commander Suresh Karnik, another brilliant pilot. So many people here. It's a great privilege and honor to listen to them. I will only say one thing, that the jointness, the synergy between the Army, Navy and the Air Force has to continue. It has to flourish. We are now looking forward to a theatre command. We've got a Chief of Defence Staff. We are trying to theaterize the commands for integrated application of the Army, Navy and the Air Force. The Army and the Air Force, because Patsave has mentioned, we have close integration. I am from the artillery, and the start and the finishing of the war is commenced by the Air Force and the artillery. So the airstrikes in 71 by Pakistan heralded the declaration of war. Similarly, the guns open up, and when we close down, it is eminent that all hostilities have ceased. So, on that perspective, I will say that I witnessed the air battles. I have seen, as Wing Commander Krishnamurthy brought out, the heliborne transport operations, the airborne offensive, what we in the army could do, and the pinpoint accuracy bombing of the hotel and the big, Raj Bhavan in Dhaka was absolutely superb. My compliments to you, Vikas, for being an ace fighter pilot. I think the loss of the Indian Air Force was the gain of the Air India, and of course you chose to join the Air India and enhance their quality. But I think the Air Force lost out on a most promising fighter pilot, somebody who would have risen in rank and file, just as Wing Commander Suresh Karnik, outstanding pilot of the NDA. I think 8th course, if I'm not wrong, he was battalion commander. So I think somehow this is what doesn't appeal to me much, when our brilliant fighter pilots leave the Air Force earlier, whereas they could have provided much more value to the flying capabilities of our Air Force. But I think they have certain compelling requirements. I will just ask Vikas one question. Vikas, you know Dinky Jathar, squadron leader, because he flew with my cousin on that Doronaro mission. Was Dinky Jathar originally with 220 squadron, or do you have some kind of cross attachment between fighter pilots depending on the priority of missions on a particular front? This is my one question. Secondly, in war, you have frequent conversions from, let's say, gnats to hunters to vampires to HF-24s, if at all, because you see, you have to take into consideration the attrition rate amongst fighter pilots. This was well observed during World War II, during the Battle of Britain. So this is my question. There are many stalwarts here, like Wing Commanders, many more experienced pilots. Let's say the attrition rate is falling. Of course, our war was only 14 days. But let's say you have excessive attrition amongst pilots and aircraft. Do you have a system of cross-functioning? And let's say an HF-24 squadron can have a mixture of gnats and vampires, and then have a hybrid model of carrying out fighter bomber missions and carrying out effective air defense in that sector. This is my question.
Okay, let me start, Ajit. It's like this. First of all, Dinky Jathar Saab, I have never interacted with him. I have seen him number of times. His elder brother, Air Marshal Jathar, was my station commander in Pathankot in 1975-76. Okay, so unfortunately, I never worked with him, but he was on HF-24 right from the beginning when these aeroplanes joined service. That's number one. Secondly, I know about Pradeep, your cousin's mission, because they were to interdict one particular train which they managed, but he got shot because of there must have been some anti-aircraft fire, which finally got poor Pradeep. As far as the aeroplanes are concerned, this is your second question, we don't mix things like this. If each squadron will have 16 fighters and a complement of 2 trainers, okay? Unfortunately for NATs, we never bought NAT trainer. There was no NAT trainer available from UK that time. It came on later on. So what we used to do, the NAT boys would get a dual check in a hunter trainer simulating a NAT approach. That's the maximum that could be done. But in one particular squadron, there will be one particular type of aeroplane. You can't mix things. Things get very complicated technically in order to maintain, handle, and service these aeroplanes. So each squadron, like I mentioned this case of Ajay Singh hadn't flown Type 77 for almost 4 years. He was in training command. He flew on HT-2, Kirans, and then Vampires, and he landed in Chandigarh only to confront Air Marshal Denzil Keeler. When Denzil Saab saw him, he said, AJ, come on, I'm taking you here. He was hastily given dual check and brought. This was kind of a hasty situation. I don't think it has happened any time other. And like I said, this MiG club that was formed was absolutely extempore. Because of that enormous pressure that Pathankot was experiencing, something drastic had to be done. So, and luckily for us, Keeler Saab was from Air Headquarters, and between him and Air Marshal Khatri, whatever they asked for was provided. For instance, this gondola, Gasha 23mm gun. Those kits came straight from Russia to Delhi. Overnight, they were flown into Pathankot. We were just given operating instructions, half in Russian, half in broken English.
Correct.
Our commander, technical staff, armament people were told, come on, quickly strap on. Nobody had operated this equipment. And the first sortie was launched. On the second sortie, Denzil Saab was shot down.
Oh.
So normally things are not mixed.
Okay, thank you, Vikas. I just have one final question.
Yeah, go ahead.
In our artillery fire plans, because I have done them. Excellent, Vikas, thank you very much. I am only asking one question now, is that you see in all our intimate fire support in the artillery plans, and I have structured them, I have witnessed them in the 71 war. We have a FAC, a forward air controller. With us in 71 was Flight Lieutenant Saboor, later Air Marshal Saboor.
Yeah, my course mate.
We also indicate a bomb line for the Air Force fighter pilot during the close air support missions. Now, can you actually identify these bomb lines in your dive attacks, in your close air support mission? What's the efficacy of the bomb line that we give? Because our bomb lines are 1,000 meters from the front line attacking troops onto the objective. So we shift the bomb line and then we ask the Air Force to move ahead. Is this really effective? And have we improved this method of bomb line identification with radar systems? That is my question.
Okay, Ajit, I'll tell you, in my time, we had to literally memorize the prominent landmarks close to bomb line. In my time, there was no navigation by coordinates or by any navigation system. My navigation was my pencil line on my map and my memory and my skill. So we were told, all right, this is the bomb line, this is what is generally, these are the landmarks in that area. Don't make sure bomb doesn't come before this. So I believe nowadays, these aeroplanes, they have an excellent navigation system and they have some kind of a display where a bomb line can be displayed. We had no such privilege or liberty or having this kind of a facility. We had to have everything in our head. Our GLO briefs us. The person between says, all right, today your FAC will be so and so. He is waiting for you. This is your load and this is your bomb line. We used to have a look at the bomb line on a 1/4 inch and a 1 inch map, translate it to our 1 million map, and hope like hell we don't fire on our own troops.
May I add to this, Vikas?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, Nair, sir.
Danny is a Su pilot.
Well, two things. First thing, somebody had asked about Dinky Jazar.
Yeah.
In 66, 67, he was in 23 Squadron in Pathankot in NADS. That's where I met him first time. After that, where he went, I haven't got a clue. Second point is this bomb line. It is just like Vikas said, it is for us hypothetical. However, what the army does, that they draw a line where their forward troops are and then tell the Air Force, probably 1 kilometer inside of that forward troops, that beyond that we are not to release our armament loads. Plus, when we are briefed in our crew rooms and briefing rooms before the mission, there is another safety added, maybe 500 meters, that when we take off, the bomb line, which is either given by the army and drawn by the photo rep, that is photo interpreter, and based on that, if there are any landmarks, very good. If there are no landmarks, like in even Vikas will know that beyond Suratgarh, Rajasthan area up to Chor, Naya Chor, there is nothing. It's only sand. There's no way of telling what is where. So that is just like he had mentioned much earlier, that it is speed and direction in those days, in our days, that you went so much and you took it for granted that you have reached. And Longewala, this was one of the things that happened, that firing by our Hunter aircraft was done on all the Pakistani tanks without really, maybe the odd mishap, but otherwise there was no mishap of where our aeroplanes fired on our troops.
Nayyar sir, thank you very much. This is Ajit Apte. I had asked you about Dinky Jathar. In fact, I'll tell you, after you met him in '67, Dinky Jathar came to the NDA and he was my divisional officer in Juliet Squadron. And after that, as Vikas pointed out, he must have been with 220 Squadron. And perfect, you answered the bomb line question very well, sir, because I am sure Vikas has mentioned with navigational and avionics systems, there will be better cooperation on the bomb line and the nature and scope and magnitude of the close air support between the Army and the Air Force. Thank you very much. Thank you.
When you talk about close air support, there's one more thing. You have an FAC with you who is moving forward along with the forward line of troops, whatever inside of the troops, and he is guiding our close air support aircraft. And sometimes he does turn around and say, not this one, not this.
I think it's gone. But thank you, sir. Thank you, Brigadier Apte, sir, for your deep discussion on the subject. Now I think our Dattatreya Sahab is there. He's waiting for us.
So we are very, very proud of you, Vikas Dada. You are our mentor. You are mentor for many, but you are our mentor for the family. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for sharing all those notes about the war experiences. You are our hero. Indian Air Force is really at the top. It's only because of some of you, people like you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Sandhya madam.
Yes.
I am interrupting. Rao sir will kindly excuse me. How, if you have daughters, how will you give them a choice of marrying with a Air Force man or
good question. Very good question. And that's why I'm very, very proud of Vaishali Vaini. The one who married my brother Vikas Dada, and she made his life complete. She took up all the responsibilities which Vikas Dada left for her to complete.
See, madam, normally defense officer, they do not have much of wealth.
Yes, but there are different type of wealth.
Anyway, nice to listen to you. Somewhere, some lady here. First time I am listening this on my group. Anyway.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Wish you all the best.
Because we are very proud of you.
Madam, kindly, give us strength. We'll protect whole of the country. We have been doing it.
Yes, all.
And yes, and
it's only because of all of you. Yes, we are becoming stronger and safe.
आज हम जिंदा है, कल हमारे दोस्त बहुत गए, उनका दुख भी साथ में लेके चल रहे हैं.
जी. विकास दादा से हम सुनते रहते हैं.
अच्छा, one request. Sanjay madam, can we see you on the call?
Sir, 1 minute.
I'm done.
Go ahead. Our daughter, or I do not know, but she was there.
I am his sister, cousin sister.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
but I am his neighbor too. I am his neighbor also.
Madam,
Huh.
you be with our as a good citizen of India,
Yes.
either lady or man. I do not.
Okay. Eknath Sahab, I think there are some other people.
Yes,
Yeah.
other questions, please. Thank you all. Thank you all for listening.
राव सर मेरे को हमेशा बंद कर देते हैं, स्टॉप कर देते हैं।
बहुत आदमी है ना, बहुत आदमी है, बहुत लोग हैं। So more than 10
question.
Yeah, I would like request others to speak.
Sir, HFO set.
Yeah, sir.
Please, state it up.
Sir, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, go ahead.
I am HFO BS Sethi. I joined the service in 1960 and served till 2000
Oh, 40 years.
and retired in 2000 as HFO from Air Headquarters Vaibavan.
Okay.
My achievements are many. I don't want to explain them and take your.
Yeah, 4 commendations.
I-
Ask the question, sir. Ask the question.
I got 4 commendations from CAS as well as from AOCNC, and wherever I was stayed more than 6 to 8 years because of the flying of the squadrons, as well as my initial work in BRD, that is at Kanpur, number 1 BRD, where hunter servicing was carried out in fuel system components, and we started the overall of fuel system components and made the air cards available for 1971 war. At that time, I was in Kanpur BRD and working as technician in rig room as sergeant, sir. So, when I started in 60 itself, 62 first my China aggression came. Until Kargil operation, I have attended all the wars. So I know somewhere or one way or the other way, my contribution is there.
Yes, sir. You come back to the question to our Vinko sir.
Sir.
Many are waiting.
Sir, thank you very much, sir. A nice narration has been done for the war by you, and it was looking as you are giving a real commentary for the job which actually you carried out operations. I am thankful to you, and thank you to the Pathak sir and Rao TBR sir, our 2 pillars who make us to meet you all and talk about. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
My
Pathak sir,
question-
you may like to
Hello.
speak. Yeah.
Sir.
My question was simple.
Yeah, please.
Sir.
Please.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Inandar sir.
Sir.
So my question to the Govika
Sir.
sir. See, you have narrated from 22nd November to 16 December. In between on 3rd or 4th, rather 13th December, you have told 6 mirages came from the Sargodha. That time 501 Barnala SU was very much active. They might have given the early warning informations to you.
I'll tell you.
Because-
Let me just cover this, okay?
Please, sir.
See, it's like this. Barnala is quite far away. These aeroplanes used to come at treetop level.
Mhm.
We had no capability of picking up any aeroplane coming very low, say 50 feet.
Okay, right. Sir.
So for that, Air Force had devised a very novel method. They had trained number of pilot officers and men in aircraft recognition, and where possible, these observers were strung all over. Now, for Pathankot, it's a very unique situation.
Correct.
Like I mentioned, as a crow flies from Ravi River to Pathankot is only about 15 kilometers
Hmm.
or thereabouts.
Correct, sir.
That means any aeroplane coming at say 900 to 1000 kilometers per hour, which is 550 knots, you just get 50 seconds warning,
Correct, sir.
50.
Hmm.
Now, with this kind of a warning, we have no capability of sort of responding to this warning. Even when you have to scramble from say standby 5, it is 5 minutes. From standby to 2 minutes are given.
Correct, sir.
Okay. Subsequently, I can tell you our skill, personal skill. or a average skill of our pilots. I was given commendation by, I forget, 501 commander. I had scrambled in 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Oh,
I was scrambled to the airborne, wheels up. But this was all after constant practice.
Yes.
We used to practice so much. We had everything on our fingertips and we knew exactly what to go about. Here I'll just cover one incident I have experienced while I was flying in Air India. I was a 747-400 commander and we had a flight from Mumbai, Frankfurt and Los Angeles. On this flight, I was privileged to fly our Indian Air Force contingent going to Alaska. They were going there for some exercise. And as the luck would have it, I met them on the return trip. I forget the name of the group captain who was their leader, but on the return flight, I was also with them. And this group captain told me that in the debrief in Alaska, the US Air Force General made a remark that God help Air Force that has to meet these Indian Air Force fighters. You can imagine the compliment given to us by no less person than being Air Force General from US Air Force. So this is the kind of a metal we have with our people.
Correct. Because see, I am the junior most among this group. Because during Gulf War, we have seen we used to track the B-52 bomber from Manila. It used to come. It had landed in Mumbai also.
That's
So
correct.
that system was available. But today modern technology has changed everything. Now the flight is taking off from San Francisco. We will be able to track from here also. So what I mean to say, during those days, Barnala was quite active, and Sargodha was under the scan of radar range of Barnala. So my request was that the moment the flight Mirage taken off from the Sargodha airport, it was quite visible for the Barnala and to inform at Pathankot Air Base.
No, I understand you, but let's say you got a warning on telephone line, right?
And then actually,
Scramble. Okay.
that much
From
time.
Barnala, you get a warning.
Correct.
You try to get airborne in 1 minute, which is past your time. In the meantime, the
Correct.
airplanes have come, attacked and gone.
Correct. I agree
Now
with
what
you.
do you do?
Very
There is
difficult
no
time.
time.
No time, absolutely.
Air Marshal, I'll tell you, Wilson Saab, he was commanding, he was AOC Jamnagar.
1 second, sir. 1 second. Except for Sethi sir, please mute yourself.
Sir.
Mute कर दीजिए, mute. बंद कर दीजिए, हाँ, yes. Okay.
Okay.
Sir.
He was AOC Jamnagar, and there was a unit called Operational Training Unit where there were 30-40 pilot officers. Now he had trained all of them in aircraft recognition. These people were given a jeep and a tentacle and sent into Kutch. Okay, they were strung all along our border in Kutch. Now these people did an excellent job. Anytime Jamnagar was attacked and they saw the aeroplanes during daytime, they would quickly transmit that information, seen a formation of 4 104s or Canberras or Mirages heading for Jamnagar. That is how our wing commander Bharat Bhushan Soni had launched. He was in this one, and when the 104 starfighter attacked, he got one of them. Okay, so this was the situation in those days.
Okay,
You had to have the air observations, observers strung all over our line with a good recognition capability.
That's true, sir. Agree.
And they should be so far away so as to get at least 3.5 to 5 minutes warning. This was achieved. But you can imagine in Pathankot, there is no such place. You can't send a person into Pasuru.
Geographically, it is very difficult. Correct. I agree,
That's
sir. I have seen the Pathankot. Geographically, it is very difficult for that area. And it is a very vital place for the sake of India. And it is very easy for Pakistan from Sargodha to they fly off towards Pathankot.
That is why
Thank
I
you, sir,
felt
for
very
narration.
sad when Pathankot was attacked by this terrorist. When I saw those photos, I could immediately recall all those areas
Correct,
where
sir.
I have been on ground.
Correct, sir. Correct.
Okay, sir. Okay, let us
Thank you, sir.
Yes,
One
sir.
minute, I would like to add to the same point
Sir.
about warning. Now, Vikas said, but all of us are thinking something different. We are thinking of today. He is talking about 1971. Just to give an example, in 71, Indian Air Force did not have telephone lines. We used to be dependent upon something called those days PNT, Post and Telegram lines, which were civil lines. Whenever their line failed, the line given to us was taken over by them. So we did not. Okay, that was point one. Point two is, you are talking of with mobile phones today. You are so used to it. In those days, when Amritsar or Barnala, those two SUs, the 30 SU and 501 SU, 501, when they had, somebody had to inform what was the system. Besides, even if you had the line working, the phone was what is called field telephone. You had to rotate like gramophone so that the current will pass through the lines and reach the other end. That is how the other. Now you see an aeroplane coming. Now you start from there. You have seen it go past because it whizzes past you, which is the enemy aircraft. Now you run to your telephone wherever the field telephone is. You start crank it. By the time somebody else at the other end picks up and answers you, and that fortunately our ORPs have a direct line from SU to the ORP. So only word that comes is scramble, scramble, scramble. But otherwise, you now start adding the time. By the time aeroplane has come, attacked and gone. That was the situation those days. Where were the mobiles? Where were the normal phones? We had none of those.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. Anybody else?
Sir,
Time is
were there
very
any
short. Very short.
MOF, sir? We have done 14 days course MOF in 79. MOF used to observe and intimate the warnings of aircraft approaching our territory.
Yeah,
MOFs
Varun.
were not operative in 71 war, sir?
Yeah, Varun, I mentioned about Jamnagar. Jamnagar was, I think, must have been the first airfield where Air Commodore Wilson had this concept, and he sent those pilot officers into Kutch, far away from Jamnagar, with Tentacle, where you could get a message on RT. Okay, and that is how Jamnagar was always getting warning. So you can imagine for Pathankot, you are just about 15 kilometers from border. Where do you put your mobile observation flights, MOF? There's no place. You have to have something else. And this is the peculiar situation Pathankot is facing even today. There's nothing, maybe you will have to work out on some other solution.
Okay.
Badu didn't Badu at Pathankot, didn't they strike that time about an aeroplane getting airborne, particularly if it was the AOP aeroplane or something, or even another aeroplane that took off and orbited at 2,000 feet, 3,000 feet and transmitted the radio messages. Was it not tried in Pathankot?
No, nothing was tried, but Danny, nothing. Okay. I'll tell you what, these 6 Mirage attacks that I saw, Mirage and Sabres combined, they were totally surprised. Nobody even thought. Like I said, I was having an early morning breakfast with Nandi Minocha, and we were sitting on top of blast pen, and all I heard was cling, cling, cling. That was the ball ammunition hitting the runway. And the next thing I found, those brass empty shells falling close to us. Even that one shell had dropped on one of our heads, we would have gone.
That's true, sir. F-22 rockets were also there, I think, so along with that.
No, we had anti-aircraft guns. We had some kind of a missile system. That was, I think, SA-2 or SA-3 close by. But I found those attacks just went, and only once or twice there was a NAT combat air patrol over Pathankot. And these aeroplanes used to come so fast that even NATs couldn't cope with. I think I forget the name, Das or Datta, in a turn, cut corners and got behind one Mirage and opened fire, but his guns jammed. But luckily his camera showed everything.
Oh, but so Sam 2 was not there during that time? It was there, Sam 2?
Sam 2s were there, but they were never close to Pathankot.
Right.
They must have been somewhere else.
Yeah,
They were in the Rajpura and other places.
Rajpura, yes.
Yes, it was there to protect them for the other.
I think
Thank you, sir.
let us do to chance others also. Pathak sir, and we have Subreddy garu. Yes.
Who are deployed at Amritsar also, I think.
Sir, Pathak sir.
That wing commander, then squadron leader, Denzil Killer. He had a first sortie of trial of those new guns which were fitted.
Yeah, correct.
And then his aircraft crashed. But to my knowledge, he did not die in that.
No. He survived. He
survived
ejected.
that.
But see, you can imagine the loss of your leader. He was our leader, and I forget the name. He used to call me with something, I was a tail end Charlie, officer I see T Club, officer I see auto book, officer I see all everything, odd job man. So anytime he had a problem, he said, hey, where is Batsawale? Call him here. Okay. So besides flying, I was the butt of everybody's joke.
I think he is still alive and
he's very much there.
long live Killer sir, because his younger brother Trevor Killer was with us in 27th Squadron, Hunter Squadron.
That's correct.
But he is no more. He is no more now.
Yeah, Trevor Saab is no more, but Denzil Saab is there.
Trevor Saab being younger is no more. Denzil is elder brother.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir, for your kind.
Hope you enjoyed.
We have enjoyed it to the best of.
Yes, sir. I think we are coming to the end of it. Now I think Subreddy garu.
Will you kindly today at least give me 2 minutes?
No, be brief, sir, because 6 callers, 6 people are there. It will take 5 minutes and it doesn't serve the purpose.
Okay, sir.
Be brief. Be brief.
No, sir. At the end.
Okay.
Okay. Let them go.
Yeah, okay. So I request anybody who would like to ask, they can ask a question. Otherwise, we have come to the end of it. Mr. Punj, Rajinikanth Damble, Manik Dere, Dr. Madhusudan, then Subreddy, Vinayak Prabhuji. So all are there. If any of you would like to speak, you can speak. So at least say hello or salute to the hero so that you are also on the call, forming part of the recording. You can unmute. Please unmute. Unmute. Finally, sir, it is Eknath ji.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Please be brief.
Sir. I will be brief, sir. Sir, we are all retired but not tired. Because of that, we are here. And whoever more senior, because of them, we draw the inspiration. But inspiration, as my belief is, can be drawn from the small children also.
So please brief, relevant and be brief, sir. Brief,
Yeah, sir. I'm narrating.
So we have been here for the last 2 hours. So be brief.
Sir, I'm narrating Halwara days. Halwara, there was a fire power display near range, nearby, I think 25 kilometers around. Then the PSI bus, everyone was taking, all airmen and all, but officers and they went ahead. And small children were waiting at the officers' enclave, that gate. One small child came, there was no place in the bus. So I just take him and he sat on my lap. And I just asked him, what is your name? He was son of Air Marshal Gokhale. That time he was a wing commander. And I did not know personally. And he narrated a story. My father is a 71Y hero. See, since that day, I repeatedly told my children that my boss is 71Y hero. So my children have grown more, sir. And perhaps
so inspiring. Yeah, you have to keep telling inspiring stories to our children. Yes. Thank you, Eknath sir, for your also contribution towards this. So now time has come. Let us close this program. So I'd like to thank all the air warriors for being on the call for almost 2 hours, and particularly I thank our today's speaker, 71 war hero, Wing Commander Barsavli sir, for his excellent narration and his love for the country, and to be in the thick of the action when the nation called for it. So on behalf of all the air warriors, so we salute you, sir. We feel proud of your service to the country. So you are also an unstoppable air warrior, and thank God, and God bless you, sir, with health and wealth and all those things on this day. Say, be blessed. Please stay blessed and stay safe, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. So kind, and many of your family members and friends also participated. So our thanks to all of them. It's a great honor to have you on the call and listen to your stories. Thank you so much, sir. Wing Commander Karthik sir, JW Pathak sir, Group Captain Das sir, then the Brigadier Ajit Apte sir, then we have Eknathji, then Rangnath sir, Manjunath sir, Subhash Chandra Bose sir, Videsh Nair sir, and it's really a pleasure that some of the warriors or gallant award winners to be on the call and interacting time with you. Thank you, one and all. If I may
At this age, we are inspiring and strengthening each other. Please, and always, as you grow near, you have more responsibility to take care of us.
I think we have
some Wing Commander sir was saying junior most. I am the junior most, sir, and title wise also junior warrant officer. Always junior.
Okay. Have a good day.
Rausha. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Rausha.
Acha, okay, thank you. A very good point. So now I'd like to request all our air warriors, particularly Karthik sir and Krishnamurthy sir and Ajit Apte sir also, to bless our air warriors who succeeded in civil life. Like we have the next all Wednesday webinars. Now we have the call of our Sergeant, Doctor, Professor, Vice Chancellor, Broadcaster from Mumbai. So I request all of you to be part of the program. And particularly, I think we have a lot of people on the call. I think almost 400 people in our two groups. But having only 60, 70 is not enough. I think everybody should get the motivation to be able to participate and get inspired apart from paying respect to people who have succeeded in our life. So I request everybody, unless there is an emergency, be part of our program. As it is finding also so thank you, John, for remembering me in that program.
Thank you, John.
And also I will tell you that there is a great message from one of our air warriors that our only AC after getting training and becoming AC, one of our air warriors did in such a way that he went on to become not a colonel, not a brigadier, not a major general, a lieutenant general. Bringing these things we will never know unless you are on a mission to collect the details of all the people. The process, Lieutenant General J.B. Sharma, now staying in Gurgaon. So he started his career as an AC, went on to become Lieutenant General, commanding large forces of Top 80. Now he is out of station. He is also going to come and narrate the story. So such is the spirit, such is the greatness of our air warriors. Let us listen to them, get inspired, and get respect to be a part of the program. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So congratulations.